Hello and welcome back to another day in the woods where unfortunately I may have messed up ever so slightly. Today's vlog was meant to be me tiling the bathroom. However, I forgot that the wall needs to be tanked first. So instead of tiling the bathroom, I'm going to be helping Jess finish off her craft area. And I've had another decision on the layout of this room. I know it's Jess's area, but to me this makes a lot more sense. I'm going to take the calyx unit that we put at the back wall there, and I'm actually going to put it against this wall. That way I can stack the other one below it, so it's actually full height, and it gives a bit more workspace here, and then the desk can go against that back wall there. Whilst I am doing this today, in the absolute madhouse, as Lily goes crazy, I'm going to be going back and forth tanking the other room, because to tank the bathroom wall it's like a 5-hour turnaround. I need to paint it once, let it dry, and then paint it again, and then it takes like 4 hours before it's tileable. So kind of filming 2 vlogs in one day today. Do you want to be on camera? Are you clapping? Something else I've actually done in this room, in between vlogs, is I have bought insulation and I've shoved it up here, because when I sit there, I never used to sit in this corner, but since I've been sitting there, the draft you get from this corner is really bad. So whilst I know it's obviously not a permanent solution and it's, you know, not going to work to the best of its ability, for the time being, having a load of insulation just fill that void up there is actually keeping it a lot warmer, which is super nice. So the radiators aren't as inefficient, because since I moved it to this back wall, the heat was just going up and escaping the room. So yeah, I've done that much better in here. I'm actually going to add another radiator onto this wall here on the corner for Jess's area, and then hopefully when the calyx unit is against that wall, I'll have the space there. I don't know if we're going to do like the worktop today, because I haven't fully decided what material to use or how to put this together, because it needs to be quite deep. It might be like a fold out one. But for now, it's a case of dismantling and moving things. I need to get the table out. I need to take everything out of the calyx unit, because I just won't be able to move it with it full, which I think I'm going to leave to Jess to empty. But for now, I'm going to dismantle this, flat pack it, so we can store it for the future. We may very well get it back out for like occasions if we have people over and we want to have like a big dinner or something like that. But for the time being, I think it's just best stored away. I might even just put it in the corridor for the time being. It's such an expensive table that I don't want to damage, that I don't really want to put it in a lean-to, just because I don't know. It might be fine up there, to be perfect. I don't know, but for now, let's just get it flat packed and out the way. Okay, bolts all removed, but funny story, when I was tidying this area up and reorganizing it for Jess in a previous vlog, every time I went into this space, I was like, man, it smells like aftershave. I was like, why does it smell like another bloke? I was like, is it me? I actually got genuinely confused at one point. I was like, is it me? And it turns out she's got a hoodie from a customer that she's embroidering onto, and it absolutely stinks of aftershave. And don't get me wrong, I trust Jess completely, and there was no doubt in my mind about it at all. But I was like, that is the bizarrest. It was like, it reeks of aftershave. And she was just like, yeah, a guy gave her a hoodie to embroider onto. It's actually a car hoodie. It's quite nice. But yeah, I was like, that is bizarre. I was like, it stinks of aftershave. I don't actually wear aftershave. I used to wear aftershave, but I've run out. So I have to wait for Christmas or something like that to get some more. But yeah, it's like, why does it smell like another man in here? Anyway, table is now dismantled. I would like to paint these legs at some point, because Benji, when he learned how to write, got a permanent marker and wrote his name all over it. It's quite literally written on everything. I suppose you could keep it as a memory. It's a table, it doesn't really make a difference. But we actually brought, the reason we actually got white legs on this table is because I knew that if it was white, I could paint it any color. So if we wanted to change the color of the, you know, the table to match whatever aesthetic we go for in the future, it was kind of future proofed. So it's not the end of the world, but it's white. He's actually just tried to wipe it off, haven't you?
Yeah.
But it won't wipe off because it's permanent.
Well, we can need water.
Yeah, water won't bring it off. Sharpie, that stuff is there forever. Now that the table is removed, we are all ready, set, go to move the calyx units against this wall here. I think it comes up to around here-ish, so we'll have plenty of room to hang our radiator on the wall, or the other way around. I might put it here and hang the radiator that side, I don't know yet. But as I've already done this once, of emptying and filling the calyx units and stuff, I'm gonna hand over to Jess and let Jess do it. I think she's probably just going to roll a time lapse of getting this area completely cleared out, so I can go back upstairs and tank the bathroom. So cue the music and roll the time lapse. Alrighty, Jess has emptied the calyx unit. It's always satisfying watching stuff be emptied. I'm actually quite enjoying the time lapses. It does destroy the vlogs in the sense that like an hour sometimes can just go by like that. But now that that's emptied, we need to move it over here, and I think I might need Jess's help to lift this one on top, because that one's going to go on the bottom, and then that's going to go on top of that, which is quite a lot. See the weird glare on Jess's phone. Alright, so this base unit, we need to swivel it, so you need to end up where I am. Ouch. Put it on here for the time being. Not perfect, but just there, because I need to unscrew it. And then we have to stick these little feet on. 2 on each end. And we slot it into the legs. Just gonna hang over, move the legs out because you won't get your hands on them. Just like that bit. Hands in.
Not really. Yeah.
Then slide it back over. Go from the bottom of it, come up low again.
Yeah, on my foot.
So lift it because it will rip the floor. Right, line it over the edge of the wall.
Want it to come all the way to the. It's a bit bothered.
I have to keep moving it into this level. Right, I need to make sure the radiator fits there. Radiator fits, which is lovely. Now I just need to lift that on top of here.
Right, then so you've got to go back over there, man. Ready?
I think there's another bag of things there. There's a way to clip it to the wall, which I probably will do because it's not the sturdiest of things. Now,
Remember to lift from the legs. Didn't we create our own bracket fixes for this? Yeah, this is the back because it's got a. I think the bracket's on the back. Really.
Get out the way, please.
right, do you want to spin it?
I mean, it's fine. I won't be good. Where's the bracket for this one? There's a hole on that one. This must be the back. You got it? Nope.
It's actually not that heavy because it's essentially made out of cardboard.
Actually, this might have been the back.
Doesn't matter,
Because
does
there's
it?
paint on there. Why didn't we paint the back?
You can go either way, can't it? Doesn't make a difference.
Don't really know.
The only reason I put it at the back is because I'm pretty sure those holes
Oh, for the bracket.
are for the brackets that hold it fixed to the wall, and it
Right.
might very well be upside down.
Right. Maybe. Because that hole, wasn't that for when we had the TV?
Yeah, it needs
Where's
to,
it
I need
gone?
to flip it. Oh my knowledge. After a bit of a palaver, we have rotated it, flipped it, got it the right way around. It's, as I said, it has, in the last vlog I said this, it's got like pinholes and like other holes in it because I used it I had an MDF sheet on the back of it. But it's fine. It still works for what its purpose is. Before I bring the desk down and put that there, let's move all that stuff back into this and get it all bracketed up so it doesn't move. Just like so, it is rock solid, not going anywhere. I've got it fixed to the wall at the top. I have got them connected together. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it works and it's not moving, which, believe me, is very important. I've actually dropped one of these on my feet before, like a long time ago, and it hurt, and I dread to think if it fell over on Lilia or Jess or something like that. So one thing is for sure, I'm gonna need to get Jess some steps or a ladder or something, because there's no way she's gonna be able to get any of the stuff up there. I had to use a step ladder to get up there, so to be fair, I don't think she'll even be able to pull that stuff down because it's quite heavy, but it's just up there out the way for now whilst I do the rest of this room. Again, I can't believe I'm doing this again, but it's one of, once I did it, I was like, in hindsight, it actually would make more sense to do it this way, but hey ho. It's one of those, you live and you learn. Lilia has been learning how to climb on everything. She just got all the way to the top of the steps, actually, and I had to put them away because I was like, oh, that's not very safe at all. And then she tried climbing the calyx unit, so yeah, she's a little monkey. Are you climbing on everything? Yeah. I've actually seen those like wooden play set things that you can get that like move around and change, and it's like a climbing frame for toddlers. I'm tempted to get her that for her birthday, actually, because I think she'd quite enjoy it. Oh no, she's figured out how to open the box. But right, now that I have organised that, I suppose the next thing to do is probably to bring the desk down. Which was not as simple as it seems on my own as Jess went to the gym. Trying to juggle 2 children whilst moving a desk without like fully taking it apart, that was not enjoyable at all. But the desk is now in, and it's just a case of putting this room back together. In many ways, what I actually think would be better is if that was a worktop as well, that went all the way across, and then it just L's across here, so it's just all seamless and connected, because I'm thinking now that it might actually be better for that to be on that side and that to be there, because when I put the worktop in, it's going to get in the way, I guess. That's for another day. I think long term, maybe I'll get some plywood and I'll just make a custom desk, kind of like the ones that we had at the bungalow, to be fair. Anyways, time to tidy up, because this place has become quite the mess. At least that was the plan. It would appear that I have been nap trapped. And that was that for the rest of the day. You now join me on a homeless day. Yeah, this is me on my homeless day. It is mid-afternoon, and for the rest of the day, literally, me and Lily just cuddled up, watched TV, and she transferred more of her illness to me. So I'm not feeling great. Unfortunately, she's not very well, so she's very cuddly at the moment. Which is odd. When she's like ill, she comes to me to cuddles, but she goes for Jess for food, and then we kind of take it in turns. So yeah, my day was completely written off for so many reasons. But it wasn't a complete terrible thing, as it allowed Jess to do some work, as she's had a couple of commissions for embroidery. So she's been working hard on that, and now we've had time to think and assess what the best long-term solution for this space is, at least until it becomes the extension. And what we're thinking is that this desk, as nice as it is, it needs to go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get her wall mount and mount her monitors to the wall back there. We're going to get a worktop that covers this entire space at the back, and then join it to another one that goes down here. Between her like actual job and her embroidery business and the crafts that she does not have enough workspace using this alone. Like right now, it's okay. It fits a purpose. Fortunately, I already have a wall-mounted monitor arm that I can stick on the wall, and then she can raise her monitors up so she can actually utilize the desk space to do more crafting at the moment. But a good friend of ours has actually found, or he trusts it more than I do, has actually found some worktops on Facebook Marketplace for pretty cheap. So he's going to pick those up for us, and in a week or so, he's going to come down and drop them off, and we can fit those into here to temporarily transform her space so she can be more practical. She has more workspace, essentially. I didn't quite realize in my head, I was like, oh, if I put the calyx units against here, you'll have way more room, but it is still quite a small space anyway. This unit just takes up so much room. But as I think Jess is going to do a bit of a tour of her business and what she does in this space as her own vlog, I'll showcase that worktop going in her video. In the meantime, there is a couple of things left to do. One, tidy up, because I cleaned this whole area and it's got messy again and it's stressing me out already. It's like, it's so disappointing. It's like, what's the word, like unmotivating, demotivating, I don't know what the word is, but yeah, it's annoying. So I'm going to tidy the rest of this up for today, but what I do need to do is a bit of electrical rewiring. So I know now how the circuit works in the house. At the time when we did this extension, I didn't. So we put everything on what's called an FCU, so a fuse spur. So anything past those two spurs right there, if it overloads, they just flick off and the fuse blows. It doesn't affect the house at all. That goes for the garage as well as the conservatory. Rather worryingly, that fuse spur is powering a lot of the garage. But as I said, now that I know how the circuits work in the house, I can essentially extend the circuit as the final socket is literally on the other side of the wall right there. Extend the socket into here, give her some sockets in this room because she doesn't have any sockets here for her computer setup. So yeah, we're going to stick some new sockets on the wall here for her her workspace for crafting and stuff. And then we'll put some more over here for when the workbench comes in. Or at least I can always extend it later on. But yeah, we need to do that. So I need to nip out and go grab some bits and bobs because I don't have any surface boxes or anything. I have plenty of sockets, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I need some surface boxes. It's going to be very DIY. It's not permanent, as you know. This whole thing is getting knocked down and we're rebuilding it anyway. And the house is getting a rewire. But for the time being, I can safely extend the circuit out here for Jess to utilize without, causing any damage, because I really don't trust these fuse spurs. As much as it's working and nothing's overheating and we have a lot going on at the garage and down here as well, I just don't trust it. So we're going to do this bit properly. But first, let's mount that on the wall. Knowing that we're going to have a worktop against this wall here, I'm going to measure the distance from the calyx unit to where the worktop is going to go, find the middle point, transfer that mark to the wall, and that is exactly where I'm going to mount the monitor. Because realistically, you're only going to be able to sit here, so you kind of want to be in the middle. Now this is going to be noisy, but I'm going to draw some holes. And I don't have a tripod, so this is going to have to do, I'm sorry. Personally, I think really big plugs and screws is a bit overkill for this monitor, but that's what came with it, so that's what we used, and it's not going anywhere, that's for sure. I was literally just thinking to myself as I hung her monitors, I have made Jess a lot of desk setups and crafting spaces over the time. I'll throw some pictures up on screen of stuff that I've done since I've been with Jess. This is definitely the most budget-friendly version of anything I've made for her. But it's probably got the most functionality out of all the spaces she's had, because we've not had as much room as this before. But, give it time and she'll have a dreamy craft room. She actually wants something like this. Essentially, when I build the log cabin, Airbnb, guest house thing, it's essentially going to be like a garden room that converts into like a home away from home type place. So when we have friends over, they can stay, or like, family, etc. There's somewhere for people to stay. But in the interim, obviously we're not gonna have people here 24/7 every day of the week, 365 days a year. Do you know what I mean? So in the meantime, it'd be really cool to turn it into like essentially a garden office space for Jess. Now, depending on the popularity or whatever happens with the log cabin, we may end up doing something more like, what's the word? Closest to home, in a sense. Rather than her being shoved all the way out in the paddock, we might actually end up doing something in the garden instead, because we have a lot of room in our actual garden to create like a garden room, and it's in between the two. So instead of like, you've got a house where our living space is basically, and the garage where the studio and my workshop will be. But in the middle, one of my next cleanup jobs that I want to do here is clear all of this out, and this shed needs to go. Now, when this shed goes, it's actually going to create a crap load of space here. And what we could do is this little brick shed here, we could latch onto it and actually create like a garden room here. So you could sit here, watch the kids play in the garden, or like I said, Jess could have like a little craft studio here. Not quite sure yet, because that space right there, I want to turn into like an outdoor kitchen, barbecue, chill area. This is obviously long term. We're very much focused on the house at the moment, but that would make a really great space for either, like, it could actually be a dining room that's like got complete like this, where it's just glass all the way around, so you can just, you're almost in essentially in a glass box. It might get very hot because it's a sun trap right there, but we could put a dining table in there and have meals, you know, under the stars. That's so lame. But, you know, just ideas that we've been floating around. Either way, this budget-friendly setup for Jess will work for the time being, but we are thinking ahead for where she can do this, because she does want to do this long term. I think she actually wants to do it as a career. She's trying to get her business off the ground, and later on today, I'll show you some of the things that she's been doing, or like customers and like clients that she's got already, and stuff that she's made, because she's done a really good job of it, and hopefully it can continue to grow, but little by little, got to start off small, and this is where the business began. Now, before I bother stressing about setting the rest of this up, we do need power, so I think that is probably the next port of call, and starting to run wiring through. Now, what I'm going to do, as I said, is very DIY. I am going to get some timber, I'm going to pin sockets to that timber, I'm going to pin the timber to the wall, because it's not going to stay here. I don't want to stick loads of holes in the wall, so I'm just going to have one batten that runs across the wall that I can tie sockets to. I might spruce up a little bit and use my router or something like that, but it means that the wires can come down to that timber batten, feeds all the sockets, and it's all tucked away nicely, and I don't have to drill a crap load of sockets into the wall. It doesn't matter so much on this wall here, because it is all like wood. To be fair, I could just screw the sockets against this wall here so they're in the corner. Yeah, I don't know. We'll figure that bit out. Either way, I need some Patras boxes, which are like surface mounted boxes, and I need to spur off that. Spur is actually technically the wrong term. I'm going to take this socket off and I'm going to extend the circuit into there. So 2 cables come down to this socket. I'll take those 2 cables and they'll go to the next socket, and it will basically ring. So for those who don't know, there's 2 types of circuit. There's a radial, where it's basically a daisy chain of sockets. And then there's a ring circuit, which is basically, they all ring. So it starts at the fuse box, goes to one socket, the next socket, the next socket, and back to the fuse box. My household is on a ring. That is the last socket on that ring. So I'm going to extend it into there and then bring it back through, so it all remains on a ring. Rather than what a spur would be, is if I took one cable out of here and put a socket there, and then put another socket, that would be spurring, and you're only allowed to add 1 socket when you spur, which is why I'm not going to spur. I'm going to, as I say, extend the circuit. I could either remove that one, or I could use this one. It doesn't really matter which way I do it. I just need to get a cable from this room out there. And seeing as we don't use that one, it makes a whole lot of sense to get rid of it. But first, we need to go to the shop. I don't normally bring you to the shop with me, but I'm very aware that this vlog is crap, so I'm just filming everything I'm doing. It appears I have chosen the absolute worst time to go to the shop. It's the bloody school run. I'm also 99% positive that at the other end of this road, there's roadworks as well. Quick! I'm letting you free. Oh, don't crash into each other. Oh, yoy. Well, this might be a very long trip out. This is why the vlogs get short really quickly, because I'll be like, I'm gonna do something, and then I'm like, I need to nip out to go grab something. And then when I nip out, it's like an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours out my day gone. Like, I remember when we first started doing like the gardening stuff, and I was like, oh, I just need to nip to TFM to get some more like pipe connections and stuff like this for the hoses outside, the water pipes outside. And it was like, nip out, go get a fitting, didn't fit, come back, go back again. Like, there's so much back and forth. It's one of those. Either way, I've arrived at B&Q, and the traffic actually wasn't too bad. It was constantly flowing. Now I need to get some a big bucket tub thing for mixing up adhesive in the bathroom, but I might as well get everything else while I'm here as well. Bucket acquired, and I think that worktop right there is exactly like the one that my friend's got. It's an off-cut, obviously not 3 meters long, but wait. They're playing Christmas music. Is it that time of year already? I was really hoping they had a multi-pack of these, but they don't. They're $149 each, and that is more expensive than a screw fix. That being said, I do get a discount here, so we might be okay. Okay, goods now acquired. Definitely homeless day, because I was getting followed around B&Q and then stared at quite intensely at the till as well. Well, to be fair, I am in ripped trackies, boots and a hoodie. So promise I'm buying everything, leave me alone. Right, before we flick the big switch off and kill the power to the house, the following is for entertainment purposes only. Only do electrics if you feel competent and confident at what you are doing, and always make sure you turn the power off. But people are interested in watching this stuff, so I'm going to show you what I do. As I said, it is DIY, and yeah, don't do this. Get a qualified electrician to do this. It's purely for entertainment purposes only. With that out of the way, need me a plank of wood because I'm going to mount all of these Patras boxes onto said wood, like so. Gonna take out the inserts in the middle, so we've got a hole for our cable to go through. Basically just making a lot of holes. Got a hole out the back of this socket, hole out the back of this socket, and then in the middle I'll just connect like so. In many ways I'm just essentially creating an extension lead. Now I'm only doing this because I want to. I haven't used this basically since I bought it, and I was just getting into like carpentry stuff. So I've made this really weird jig with a guide and everything's clamped down, and I'm going to route out a channel in the back of this timber for my cables to run down. So yeah, not done this before, but here's to hoping it's fine. I don't see why not. Ah, I love this thing. Okay, right, I have made quite the mess, but I need to unclamp this now. Move my clamp over here. And we're gonna run the channel all the way out to the edge. So, drop this back in, start it up. Beautiful. This is so overkill for what I'm actually doing, but I don't care. I'm having some fun. This is essentially like a day off vlog. These are the kind of things that I'll do off camera that I don't share. But I tell you what, I do. Look at me. I'm using an old TV cabinet as my workbench because my workbench has got too much stuff on it. I can't use it. But look, there we go. So the cables are going to come through here, out the back here, and they'll run down to the end here. So when it's pinned to the wall, cables will come out the back, and then I can send it off to the rest of the house. It is so beyond extra, but I don't care. Anyways, to save people from going absolutely haywire, I have now wired this in. So the circuit comes into this first socket, then it goes to this one, then it goes to this one, then it comes back out here. And those wires are going through the wall. I don't think you need to watch me actually wire a socket. It took a lot longer than you would think because of how many sockets there are. But they're all wired up. I just need to screw it all in now. All screwed into the wall. Just need to do some cable tidying, but it's getting hard. Because this one is still not feeling very well. You're sad, aren't you? Got such a bad cough, man. It is the room that is destined to never be finished. But at the very least, the sockets will be, because I can't just leave cables lying around. That is going to have to do for now because it's getting so late I can't drill into any walls. But I have stuck my connectors on the end of these cables. Again, gotta love quick wire, but these are two-way splitters. So you literally just put this on one end and then connect it at the other end using that cable that I'm going to get out of there. And then that continues on the circuit, nice and simple. I can't do that either right this minute because it will kill power to literally everything. I need to turn the circuit off before I touch it. That's kind of when I've worked backwards. I've done all the sockets and stuff, and then the last thing is turn the power off, connect these two together, and then it's done. But I have to admit, it's getting increasingly difficult to essentially film this vlog and complete the video. It's one of those days where we just say, it is what it is. It's a write-off. We'll put Jess's craft area on pause for now. At the very least, she has a desk set up there. She's got access to all of her craft stuff. Her monitors are all mounted up and everything. And the sockets will all be working by the end of today. So, yeah. We've made progress, but with Lilia being ill and like it getting late and stuff, it's so hard for me to do anything, unfortunately. So I do apologize for whatever this vlog is. I just kind of dragged you along for the day because I got put back, delayed because of the bathroom upstairs and all the prep work I had to do for that. As I filmed this right now, I have started tiling the room and it looks mint. So stay tuned, look forward to the upcoming vlogs. We'll be back on schedule and things will start progressing again. But yeah, for the time being, you're gonna have to put up with a vlog like this. This is the downside. Like, one of the benefits of me like being ahead is if I have a day like this where essentially I can't achieve anything because something gets put behind, or like I said, I forgot to do that, prep the walls in the bathroom, I can essentially skip a vlog because I'm so far ahead of you. I can skip a vlog and you wouldn't notice anything, and then I just make up that extra vlog later on. Whereas because I'm behind, because I got ill and the scamming and all that other jazz, everything that's happened recently, I can't skip it. If I skip a vlog, then I just don't post a video. So yeah, I do apologize, but it is what it is. If you are new to the channel, you want to subscribe, I don't know why you would after this video, but hit the subscribe button. If you want to jump over to Patreon and get the vlogs early, you can do so. And scan that QR code you can see on the screen right now. But anyways, I'm going to go relax with family and soothe Lilia. Wish her well. I appreciate it. Anyways, thanks for watching. Peace. Much love. Bye-bye. Literally moments later. So, she's really not well. I am being used as a snot rag, which is probably why I'm not very well either.